By the end of this video, you will become a better developer on one of the fastest growing blockchains in the world, TON, all thanks to TONAPI. As you all know, TON is growing fast, and if you're a developer interested in building powerful dApps, the TON API will help you build these dApps, streamline blockchain development, and explore cutting-edge technologies on TON. But before I show you how it works, let me break down everything you need to know. In simple words, the TON API is a set of tools that lets developers interact with the TON blockchain. Think of activities like fetching wallet balances, reading past transactions, monitoring on-chain activities, building dApps like Telegram bot payment apps or wallets. So let's say you are building a Telegram bot that tracks your wallet and notifies you when you receive a payment. TON API is the bridge between your bot and the blockchain data you want to receive. Or let's say you want to create a dashboard that tracks NFT ownership on TON blockchain in real time. TON API makes it possible and fast to get live data from the blockchain. This solution is made to be easy for anyone to use, even if you are not a blockchain expert. It hides the complicated parts of the TON blockchain, so you don't need to worry about different wallet types, verifying complex blockchain stuffs, or even reading strange or raw data formats like bits and bytes. So now you can just focus on what you want to build, use the API to fetch data and interact with the blockchain while totally avoiding getting stuck with complex technical setups. As you can see, the team behind TON API has made it easy by hiding all the confusing parts. So you don't need to decode weird data and you don't need to verify every wallet standard. You just plug in your request and get clean data back. It's like using maps. You don't need to know how GPS works, you just enter your destination. Now, let's go through some of the key features of TON API with some live examples and demo. The very first one I fell in love with is the streaming API. This cool TON API feature gives real-time updates as things happen on the blockchain, like new transaction, blocks, or wallet activity, all without needing to refresh or manually check. If you are just trying things out, you can use the streaming API without logging in or signing up. But if you are building a real app or using it often, I recommend that you get a free API key from tonconsole.com so you don't hit usage limits. Now, if you are wondering how this API sends real-time information, well, TON uses server-sent events, which is basically a way for the API to keep talking to you like a live chat. It sends you two types of messages: the heartbeat, which is a regular ping every 5 seconds to show the connection is still working, and then the message, which is the actual updates like a new transaction or a new block. An example is that if you want to know when a new block is added to the TON blockchain, just visit tonapi.io/v2/sse/blocks and TON will stream every new block live like a news feed for developers. Or if you want to see real-time transactions for any wallet or even for every wallet, just use account equals then the wallet address or all to see for all wallets, and TON will stream every finalized transactions directly to you. Those are streaming APIs directly in action. The next feature of TON API that I want you to know and try out is the TON REST API. The TON REST API lets you use simple web requests, the regular HTTP, to fetch account information, balances, transaction history, NFTs, tokens, and more advanced features like gasless transactions, transaction emulation, and smart contracts data without streaming. The tools to help you use the TON REST API include the Swagger UI, which is a visual tool where you can click and test any API method directly in your browser without needing Postman or code. When you visit the Swagger file repo, you can access the full API structure that lets you generate client code automatically in different programming languages. And if you are building apps in a specific language like JavaScript or Python, TON provides SDKs, which are toolkits to make integration faster and cleaner. You can find these SDKs in the SDK documentation section of TON API docs. As you can see, TON API has already solved every complex need for raw data with these key features. But that's not all. The Webhook API is a feature that lets you get notified instantly when something happens on the blockchain, like when a wallet sends or receives TON, or when a new smart contract is being deployed. Think of it like getting an alert on your phone, but instead of a text, your server gets a message from TON. To use webhooks, you must have a private API key, which you can also get for free at tonconsole.com. The API key can be added in the authorization header or directly in the URL as token. Now, here is how the webhook works. First, you create a webhook. That is, you tell TON where to send updates. The endpoint is rt.tonapi.io. You then send your server's URL and TON returns a webhook ID. Then you subscribe to events. You use the TON webhook ID to choose where you want updates for. You can subscribe to wallet transactions, smart contracts deployment, messages with a specific opcode, and Ton will just send a post request to your server every time that event happens, which you receive automatically and instantly. Some of what you can do with webhooks include subscribing to accounts transaction to get alerts when a wallet is used. You can also list your subscriptions to see all the information you are tracking and many more. So as you can see, Ton's Webhook API makes your app smarter. So instead of checking the blockchain every second, you just sit back and let Ton notify your server when something important that you need or request happens. Now, let's talk numbers, because Ton API is built to scale fast. Right now, over 1,400 applications are already using Ton API, from wallets to DeFi tools, NFTs, and Telegram bots. It can handle 120,000 requests per second. So whether you are building for 10 users or 10 million users, it's built for speed. Also, it's not just about REST or webhooks. Ton API also supports GraphQL, giving developers like you and I more flexible and efficient ways to query blockchain data. And for those who love transparency, there's even an open source version available on GitHub, so you can explore the engine under the hood. As you can see for yourself, Ton API is fast, flexible, and developer first. So let's keep building and visit tonapi.io to get started with Ton API.